He says his daughter pointed out a glaring issue.
She goes, Dad, that's AI.
I think the story is really interesting. This is going to be a short clip today. So there was a gentleman that was charged by a Uber company, some type of Uber, because he had two daughters that took a Uber. I believe they were at a beach or at some kind of water, pool area or the beach. And then he was charged a large amount and he was pretty much floored. He looked into his bank account and it said that the transportation company took the money out of his account. And so what happened was the driver actually charged him because the Uber driver's car was trashed. Okay. So the man reached out. He got to connect with the Uber driver. He sent him photos of his car. The car looked disgusting. And so, of course, you are able to get reimbursed for having to clean up if there's a substantial amount of mess in these Ubers. Then you have to pay. So the man talked to his daughters and found out that the daughters did not do anything remotely close to what this driver is accusing them of doing, trashing his car. It left a lot of food or some kind of trash in the back. And so the father talked to the man and was, stern in saying his daughter said they did not cause this mess. They didn't do this. I don't know who did this to your car, but they didn't do this.
I reach out to my girls. I have a 14 and 15-year-old that had been to the beach earlier. And so I'm like, hey, did you guys take Lyft today? And they're like, yeah.
But Gore's daughter said they didn't leave a mess in the Lyft, contrary to what a Lyft customer service rep told Gore via chat.
They didn't have food or drinks in the car. These girls were coming back from, the beach. They were in their towels coming back from the beach. And they said, well, we verify everything with the drivers, and the driver sent us pictures. And I said, well, I asked them, I said, to send me the pictures.
So eventually they go back and forth. And then the Uber driver says, yes, he just made an AI image and he sent it to Uber and let them know that somebody destroyed his car. But he told the father that, yes, he made this up. He made this story up. He actually used AI to make an image of his car, but in a total wreck, a total mess in the back seat, just so he can get more money from someone. Now, ladies and gentlemen, when I say this is somebody being unscrupulous, somebody that is abusing AI, this is very wrong. This is something that can happen to anybody. There are so many people that use this app or any type of app, Lyfts, Ubers, anything, and are always charged if someone does trash the vehicle, if someone does do something to the driver's vehicle in some manner that it was left in a different way than before they got in the car. But ladies and gentlemen, that's not for drivers to take advantage of this. This driver actually admitted to using AI on a photo, altered a photo, took a picture of the backseat of his car, altered it to still look like the backseat of his car, but completely trashed with garbage. And so, ladies and gentlemen, what I ask of you is to always do your due diligence. Make sure you recognize when somebody is saying something that is not truthful to you. Understand that you have rights. Understand that people can always alter an image. Now you cannot take images at face value any longer. If you understand the capacity of AI and what it can do. And depending on the person behind that AI, it can be very hurtful, it can be destructive, and it can cost people a lot of money. So ultimately, the father, he won. He didn't have to pay that money. I believe the money was reimbursed because the money was taken out of his account. But ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to know your feedback on this. I know a lot of people who take Ubers and Lyfts, they use these companies. I don't think it's the company's fault. Of course, this is solely going on to the driver who actually made this AI image. I would hope and expect that this driver is no longer driving for Uber or Lyft. I would expect that this father teach his daughters a lesson that AI is very impactful, down to a small Uber or Lyft ride. Ladies and gentlemen, you really have to have everything held accountable. Is this telling me in the future when you get out of your Uber and Lyft that you're going to have to take a picture yourself when you get out of the car? It's actually giving me that. I know I hear stories when people leave a home that maybe they've rented, and they have to figure out if they left a home in a reasonable manner where they can get their money back that they made their down payment when they first moved into their home. Can they get their deposit back or not? Have you seen stories like that? Well, this is something like this. This is something where I'm advising sometimes, if you feel as though that you need to take a quick snapshot of a car that you got out of because you don't know if somebody would ever accuse you of trashing it or leaving some paper in it, and then the money is just automatically going to get out of your bank account. I would say it would be smart to do that, ladies and gentlemen. Living in an AI age, you have to be smarter than AI. You have to be aware of the capacity of AI, and you also have to be responsible. You need to be somebody who's always responsible so this does not happen to you and you don't do this to others. I would love to hear your feedback. Let me know your thoughts. If you love this story, don't forget to download the ADNC app. There's so many amazing things going on the app. You get access to so many things, and come see me over at shayrichberg.com. I have so many amazing things going on. I would love to have you in my group and I can share what's going on. Okay. Have a great day. Until next episode. Bye.